to call this regular meeting of the Coralville City Council to order on June 22nd, 2021. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Foster, Gross, Wynn,
Here.
Dodds,
Here.
Goodrich.
Here.
Okay, we are missing council members Gross and Foster this evening, but we do have a quorum, so that's the important thing. The mayor is also here, as is the city clerk, city administrator, city attorney, and several additional city staff in the audience. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I move.
Okay, okay, moved by Goodrich, seconded by Dodds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the agenda is approved. Item 4, citizen comments. This is the item on the agenda. If anyone would like to speak to us tonight about an item that's not already on the agenda, please step forward and sign in. Don't all rush up at once. Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on then to item 5, which is Lot 8, Coral Crossing, 8th edition. This is for a 2.63 acre residential development consisting of one 36-unit residential building. And our community development director, Dave Johnson, is going to tell us more about it. Dave?
Thank you. Yes, this is Lot 8. We're also doing Lot 9, which is on the agenda this evening. This will be excuse me, I'm sorry. Looking for my paperwork here. Yeah, as you mentioned, Mayor, this is a 2.63 acre residential development. There's going to be 36 units in this development. This development is also consistent with the amended 2018 master plan for Coral Crossing. Building design and materials are identical to what's seen on 2865, 2867, as well as 2869 Spring Row Circle, which is up and currently built at this time. Building materials are predominantly stone and various earth tones of shake and horizontal lap siding. And this development has an average density of 14 dwelling units per acre, and that development, as well as the parking, is in general conformance also with the master plan that was approved in 2018. So the Planning and Zoning Commission reviewed this request at their June 2nd, 2021 meeting, and by a vote of 6-0, the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended to approve the PUDA site plan for Lot 8 Coral Crossing, 8th edition.
Okay, thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Well, item C, I'll open the public hearing on this proposed resolution. Any comments from the audience?
No written.
No written. Okay, then I'll close the public hearing and consider the resolution.
Resolution approving the PUDB site plan for Lot 8 Coral Crossing, 8th edition, Coralville, Iowa, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Wynn, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Goodrich. Any discussion? Questions? Roll call.
Dodds,
Aye.
Goodrich,
Aye.
Wynn.
Aye.
Resolution passes all ayes with Gross and Foster absent. Item 6 is the very similar item, Lot 9. Dave, you want to say anything further?
Very briefly, I'll just note that this is the development immediately west of Lot 8, which was just considered. And again, same design, same building materials. Parking is, again, in general conformance with the master plan that was submitted. This has 23 dwelling units per acre, this being a 1.53 acre site. Slightly higher in average density, but again, in compliance with the overall master plan and overall density that has been approved for this development. The Planning and Zoning Commission reviewed this at their June 2nd meeting. Again, by a vote of 6-0, the Commission recommended to approve the PUDB site plan for Lot 9 Coral Crossing 8th edition. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll open the public hearing on this item. Any comments? No written.
No written.
Okay, I'll close the public hearing and consider the resolution.
Resolution approving the PUDB site plan for Lot 9 Coral Crossing, 8th edition, Coralville, Iowa, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Dodds, seconded by.
Second.
Second by Wynn. Any questions or comments? Roll call.
Goodrich,
Aye.
Wynn,
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Resolution passes all ayes with Foster and Gross absent. Item 7 is Lot 2 Iowa River Landing, Parkview. And this is for a 1.4 acre, 68 unit, 5-story residential development between Von Mauer and Quarry Lane. Dave?
Yeah, this is building 2 of what will be a 6-building development. This has 47 enclosed parking stalls And the density is also consistent with the PUD master plan that has been previously considered and approved. Building materials are red brick, glass trim, and fiber cement panel systems identical to the building Parkview 1, which has recently been finished. And the biggest difference is Parkview 2 has a slightly larger massing and a flat roof. However, again, it continues to be consistent with the overall development in the IRL. The city is in support of the site and building design, and also finds that the final plat meets the requirements for preparation and filing. Planning and Zoning Commission reviewed this at the June 2nd meeting, and by a vote of 6-0, the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of the PUDP site plan and final plat for Iowa River Landing Parkview Lot 2.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Once again, I'll open the public hearing on this PUD site plan and the final plat for this project. Any comments? No written. Okay. Close the public hearing and consider the resolution on the site plan.
Resolution approving the PUDB site plan for Lot 2, Iowa River Landing, Parkview, Coralville, Iowa, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Goodrich, seconded by.
Second.
Second by Dodds. Any discussion?
Yes, I have a quick question. Dave, so it's 68 units and 47 enclosed parking stall. The parking stall is 1 car per stall, correct?
Correct. There's 47 enclosed parking stalls within the building. The remainder of the parking requirements are going to be met through surface parking that's being provided for the development.
Okay. Just visiting the IRL, parking has become sort of can become a problem, especially for farmer market. You know, anytime we have any big event there. I'm just concerned as we build more, and if we don't accommodate parking, how do we solve the problem later?
I think it's definitely something that we as staff were looking at. We feel comfortable with this particular development moving forward, since this has always been planned for this density, and the parking that we have currently for this buildings 1 and 2 and eventually 6 buildings in this development. We can accommodate that parking for these residential buildings, both on-site and within buildings. As we continue to develop in the IRL, parking is always one of the first questions that's being discussed with potential developers. We're always asking, how is that parking going to be able to be accommodated, either inside the building footprint or on the site? And we're, of course, keeping a keen eye on what the university may be doing in terms of their parking and facilities plan in the IRL, and any potential partnership opportunities for that. In response to your question, specific to this development, we're very confident that the parking that we have set aside and dedicated to this is sufficient in order to accommodate all of the residents within Parkview 1, 2, and future 3, 4, and 5.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Roll call.
Wynn,
Aye.
Dodds,
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Resolution passes all ayes with Gross and Foster absent. Item E is the same project, approving the final plat.
Resolution approving the final plat for Lot 2, Iowa River Landing, Parkview, Coralville, Iowa, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Wynn, seconded by.
Second.
Second by Goodrich. Questions, discussion? Roll call.
Dodds,
Aye.
Goodrich,
Aye.
Wynn.
Aye.
Resolution passes all ayes with Gross and Foster absent. Item 8 is part of Lot 7, Folsom Subdivision. This is a change in the land use map for this property located in the southwest quadrant of 2nd Street and 1st Avenue, from corridor commercial to mixed use. Dave?
Yes, so this application is being brought forth in an effort to amend the land use map for actually 2 pieces of right-of-way and really 2 properties. So for clarification, when you look at the map that's on your screen, all of the properties that have a single hatch mark, that's already actually designated as mixed use. The properties that have a crosshatch, those are the properties which are commercial, and those will be amended under this petition to a mixed use. So what we're really looking at in this request is the property at 218 2nd Street, which is Frowine Office Supply, as well as 204 2nd Street, which is BJS Investments LLC, and portions of the First Street and Second Avenue right-of-way. The applicant has provided letters of support from private property owners, subject to this amendment, and staff also supports this request. The subject area was a specific area study and focus in the 2014 City of Coralville Community Plan. I've enclosed the relevant sections of the plan for City Council's consideration. And this sub-area identified as the southeast commercial area was identified as the gateway between the University of Iowa and Coralville. The plan notes this area currently lacks efficient and safe design, and it is an area in need of coordinated investment. A particular issue of concern that has been a barrier toward investment in this area is that this property in its entirety is located within the 100-year floodplain, and many of these structures have already previously suffered repeated flood losses. Wholesale or large-scale redevelopment of this site is necessary due to the need to elevate infrastructure, bring in fill, elevate roads, and replace aging infrastructure. So really planned, coordinated, pedestrian-oriented redevelopment of this site is necessary, and it's what the comprehensive plan or the community plan promotes for this location. Redevelopment of the site will also provide better access management, aesthetic improvements, and greater pedestrian connectivity and connection to the University of Iowa. All of these are also key outcomes and key concepts outlined in the Southeast Commercial District sub-area in the Coralville Community Plan. The Planning and Zoning Commission reviewed this request at their June 2nd meeting, and by a vote of 6-0, the commission recommended to approve the land use amendment petition from corridor commercial to mixed use for part of Lot 7 Folsom's subdivision. That's all I have.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Item C is the public hearing on this amendment. I'll open the public hearing. Close the public hearing and consider the first reading of the ordinance.
Ordinance number 2021-1003, an ordinance amending the Coralville Community Plan to reflect certain property generally known as part of Lot 7 Folsom Subdivision, Coralville, Iowa, to be designated mixed use in place of corridor commercial use, and introduced for adoption. First consideration by Councilmember Dodds, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Goodrich. Discussion.
Yes, Mayor, if I can just make a note that as one of the counselors who worked on the Coralville Community Plan several years ago, been following this area of Coralville, knowing it needs a lot of improvement over several years now. But I'm going to vote yes because this is just changing the land use to a mixed use. And I wanted to say I hope that this involves including affordable housing for some people in this area, as we had discussed in different options in the past. Thank you.
Thank you. There'll be much more information to come, I'm sure, on what's actually being proposed for this property.
Yes, absolutely.
So, thank you, Mayor. I know that in May of 2018, there was a study done by the Kansas State University grad student in that particular Southeast district. Has there been more development with the plan that they recommend as far as that?
It's really difficult for us to say at this point since we don't have a specific development concept to react to. That's something that we would see in a site plan submittal that would be submitted along with a rezoning petition for this. Right now, what the developer is asking City Council to consider is whether you feel this area is appropriate or not for mixed-use type development. In response to your question, that is something that would be provided to us at a later date, and that would be something that both the Planning and Zoning Commission and City Council will have an opportunity to review in terms of specific design, densities, location, layout, circulation, all those things that we typically look at in a site plan application.
So how do we ensure that if we move forward, affordability is the thing that we still consider and will be considered moving forward?
Well, I think that isn't anything that I can ensure. It is certainly something that I will communicate to the developer, Councilmember Dodd's comments, and The developer does send their regrets. They were hoping that they could be here tonight. However, they do plan on being here for the second reading.
Maybe you can pass on to them that we have a great interest in how this is gonna proceed, and that, you know, when they start getting into the plating process, that we would like to know ahead of time, more sooner than later, if that's possible.
And when I mention affordability, I just want to clarify that affordability, not just for housing, but also for commercial space, because right now there's a lot of international market that existing there. And we want to keep that same vibe, because I know that in the community plan, we also talk about a diversity market or cultural market there. So that's something that I think the community have expressed high interest in, and if we can keep that part and ensure that it is affordable for existing businesses to stay.
Okay, I will communicate those comments.
Thank you. One more thing. Does this include Iowa lot?
It does not.
This does not. Okay.
No, the Iowa, if you can see my cursor here, Iowa Lodge would be located in this area here.
And so the scrap metal yard is not included in this
That also
item?
is not included
Is not
in this
included.
application.
Okay.
I would hope when this area gets redeveloped much nicer, that will be a natural outcome. The Iowa Lodge and the junkyard would be the next to go.
So is there any plan to make a crossway to cross the Second Street, which is the Coralville Strip? Because I oftentimes see people crossing the street, and it's pretty scary.
It's my understanding that there's currently a crossing in the vicinity.
There's a trail go underneath, but
Yeah.
the trail is pretty long. You can't really cross from, point A to point B,
Right.
straight cross.
Aside from the trail, I'm not aware of any current efforts or funding that's set aside for any sort of road crossing for Second Street.
Is there something that we can add into the note? And as we develop, that could be something that we look into to ensure that there's a safe crossway for that area.
Well, the DOT would have regulations on that since it's a state highway, so they would, my guess is that they would require that to be at a lighted intersection. They won't just have a crossing on the highway without some kind of controlled system.
Would it possible to do like a under crossing or over crossing pad or anything like
One of
that?
those plans had bridge that went over.
Yeah.
I think.
And if it's possible, would it be then in the city jurisdiction, or is it the DOT also?
Well, the DOT has final say on anything that would happen there in regards to either one of those items, because it's actually, I don't know if it's a federal or a state highway. But either way, it would require DOT approval.
Kelly, you mentioned timeline. Could you give, could you give us the timeline of, let's say if today we voted on this and then 2 more reading, then how soon after the final reading this will?
Well, they
Take
could
place.
come with a development plan anytime after that.
After the
and-
3rd reading, correct?
Right, and then that would have to also go through planning and zoning and council, so that's a complete of what, 90 days, Kevin?
Yeah, it's about 90 days, especially for one that's is probably going to be as complex as this.
90 days after
So they
this
submit-
approval.
Yeah, afterwards.
Yeah.
Jill, did you have something more you want to say?
Nope, I'm
Okay.
good, thanks.
You bet. Okay, roll call, please.
Does
When-
Dave have something more?
Oh,
Did you
No,
have
I
something
don't.
more?
I
Thank
don't.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
very
much.
much. Thank you,
Yeah,
Dave.
We
Okay.
put you on the spot
And thank you,
a lot.
Kelly.
Wynn?
Aye.
Dodds?
Aye.
Goodrich?
Aye.
okay, ordinance passes its first consideration, all ayes with Foster and Gross absent. Item 9 is 711, 713, and 715 Fifth Avenue, which is the sale of these 3 lots to a developer who will renovate the existing homes to sell for no more than $180,000 each with a 30-year deed restriction to ensure the homes are owner occupied. Resolution, Tom?
Resolution approving the disposal of an interest in real property generally referred to as 711, 713, and 715 Fifth Avenue, Coralville, Iowa. Introduced for adoption by Councilmember Goodrich, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Dodds. Ellen Hobble, our Assistant City Administrator, I think wants to say a few words.
Yeah, good evening. We did have the public hearing for this at your last meeting, and these properties are located north of Coralville Central, and the city's owned them for about a year, and we're looking to have them rehabilitated and then sold with a 30-year deed restriction, as the mayor said. We're working with Randy Devine on this agreement, and just to let you know, the rehabilitation work will include siding, shutters, new exterior and interior doors, new windows, replacement of the kitchen and bathroom cabinets, bathroom fixtures, electrical improvements, new appliances, ductwork cleaning, central air conditioning, and landscaping.
Wow.
Wow.
Pretty comprehensive.
So, yeah, we're really looking forward to this. We think that it'll make a nice change in that neighborhood.
Outstanding.
That's great.
Ellen, just real quick, did the price change from 175 to 180?
There was a change because of, we realized that they did not have central air conditioning. And so we felt that was important for sale for the homeowners. So that was something that we arrived at with the developer, that it would be 180, but that we would require the central air conditioning.
Okay,
Good catch.
Yeah,
thanks.
it was a good catch.
Thank you. I missed that too.
Roll call, please.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Quinn.
Aye.
Resolution passes all ayes with Foster and Gross absent. Item 10 is bonds. I think since Tony Rotland, our finance director, is walking up to the microphone rather than me reading this detailed note, I'll just let Tony explain what this action is.
Not a problem. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So we have two items, 10A and 10B. The first one, 10A, is a general obligation bond refinancing. So basically, we're not incurring new debt. We're borrowing to repay some prior debt issued in 4 different bonds over the years. And a little bit of a summary on this refinancing. Excuse me. We are refinancing 4.5% bonds with new bonds at about 2.29, so about 2.3%. So we're decreasing the interest rate by about 2.25%, which produces savings of about $890,000 in present value savings in today's dollars. Also, the amount of bonds we are prepaying is a higher amount than the amount of the bonds we're issuing to accomplish this. So we have about, at the end of the day, $400,000 less of bonds outstanding after this transaction closes on June 30th. So that helps a little bit on the debt ratio front. So that's the first item. The second item has to, 10B, has to do with the wastewater treatment plant loan through the state revolving fund. And on that, this is where the city gets sponsored project money through a state program, about 2.7 million, exactly 2.7 million. And it's used for stormwater infrastructure, so a green roof on top of the arena, a green roof on top of the Staybridge Hotel in the Iowa River Landing, and a portion, a significant portion of the purchase amount for the colony land in the west land use area. And that includes some wetland area and a fen I've heard described before. Never knew what a fen was before. But what this does, through the use of a $2.7 million zero interest rate loan, that's the first step. And the second step is a lowering of the interest rates on the wastewater treatment plant loan. Through those two steps, the city gets $2.7 million of improvements for free, basically. So those are the two bond items we have this evening.
Wow. You did a much better job than I could have describing it.
So fundamentally, we have lower payments and something for nothing.
That's too good to be true.
How often do those come around?
We try.
So we need the first ordinance, or first resolution, I'm sorry.
Resolution authorizing and approving a loan agreement awarding the sale, providing for the issuance of general obligation refunding bonds, Series 2021C, and providing for the levy of taxes to pay the same. Resolution introduced for adoption by Councilmember Nguyen, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Goodrich. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Wynn.
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Resolution passes all ayes with Foster and Gross absent. And item B for the wastewater portion.
Resolution authorizing and approving a sewer revenue loan and disbursement agreement and providing for the sale and issuance of sewer revenue bonds, Series 2021E, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Dodds, seconded by.
Second.
Second by Nguyen. Any questions? Roll call.
Wynn.
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Resolution passes all ayes with Gross and Foster absent. Item 11 is the Heartland Drive HMA overlay 2021. This is for a 3-inch high HMA overlay and full-depth PCC pavement removal and replacement from Heartland Drive from the Ewalt Pond parking lot to Jones Boulevard. This is setting a public hearing for our next meeting on July 13th.
Resolution setting a public hearing on the plan, specifications, estimate of cost, and form of contract for the Heartland Drive HMA Overlay 2021 project, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Goodrich, seconded by.
Second.
Second by Nguyen. Any discussion? Probably we'll do it next time when the public hearing is actually held. So, roll call.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Wynn.
Aye.
Did you want to say anything?
No.
Okay. I was looking at Scott and I didn't see that you were over there, Eric. I'm sorry.
Let you have it if you want, Scott.
Okay. Resolution passes all ayes with Gross and Foster absent. I'm very sorry. I didn't see you walk over there. So. Okay. We'll come back at the next, when we actually have the public hearing, in case there's any questions then. So, okay. Deer Creek Road Repair 2021. This accepts the repairs to Deer Creek as completed and approves the retainage being paid. Item A, please.
Do you need a motion?
You need a motion for item A.
I would motion.
Oh, that's a
to
motion,
approve the pay estimate to L. Pelling for the Deer Creek Road repair and at the amount of $132,586.28.
Moved by Dodd, seconded by
Second.
Goodrich. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes, all ayes. Item B now is a resolution accepting the work.
Resolution accepting the Deer Creek Road Repair 2021 project as completed, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Nguyen, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Dodds. Questions? Roll call.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Wynn.
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Resolution passes all ayes with Gross and Foster absent. Item 13 is the Iowa River Landing parking lot of 2021. I would entertain a motion to approve change order number 2 to add $3,000 and pay estimate number 2 final in the amount of $226,596.80 to Bockenstead Excavating. Okay, have a motion to do that?
So moved.
Moved by,
Oh.
Jill's nodding her head, so we're
I
gonna say.
move, Mayor.
Okay. Moved by, and seconded by
Second.
Nguyen. All in favor say aye.
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 Okay. The motion is approved, all ayes with Foster and Gross absent. Now the resolution to accept the Iowa River Landing Parking Lot 2021 as completed.
Resolution accepting the Iowa River Landing Parking Lot 2021 as completed, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Dodds, seconded by.
Second.
Ooh, that was close. Second by Goodrich. Any discussion? Roll call.
Wynn.
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Resolution passes all ayes with Gross and Foster absent. Now I would entertain a motion to consider the approval of the consent calendar as presented or amended.
Mayor, I would like to pull item Y out for a discussion, and then I would ask the council to consider a motion to approve the remaining consent calendar as presented,
Okay.
A through AA inclusive.
Okay. Is there a second to that?
Second.
Okay, second by Nguyen. Discussion? Roll call on them. Yeah.
Wynn,
Aye.
Dodds,
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Okay, all the items except for Y were approved. Now our Director of Parks and Recreation, Sherry Proud, is going to give us a little further information on item Y.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. We did not have some updated drawings from the concepts, so Bolton and Mink were able to put together and kind of blend together the different options that the Parks and Recreation Commission worked on. And I wanted to show you. One more draw. There it is. Okay. So the overview of the site itself is here at Creekside. The parking lot's over here with the arrow. People will come up this walkway, and we will pour an ADA accessible path here at a future date. Then this, let me see if I can make this bigger. The Plaza space itself. Okay, why can't I get that to go? There we go. If you've been out there, it's already been cleared, and we've done some tree work. And so we melded together two different concepts, kept the seat wall along the back. You can see here that the trail, the flow trail goes right by the observation plaza, as well as the climb trail and cross course runs this way on the back side of it. So you can come in, sit on the seat wall, sit here under, this is the shelter outline, will be in this area with picnic tables, concrete around with limestone chip there in the middle, surrounded by the concrete. Drinking fountain, plaza space will all be there in that area. And then we had them show how the shed roof looks here. It will be a 4-post construction. And let's see if I can get this a little bit bigger for you. There we go. So you can see that seat wall here, and down below, they've actually put in some people shade. There's trees behind this, so it'll be shaded both in the morning by the pitch of the half gable roof, and then in the afternoon will be from trees that will shade the area. Drinking fountain, bottle filler here. We'll put in a bike rack, or actually these are mountain bikes, so it's more of a hanging rack, and you put your front wheel over it near this area as well, and then have mapping here at the future kiosk. So I wanted to make sure you guys got to see those images since they came in on Friday, and I couldn't attach them to your packet. And then we would, as in my memo, we would recommend that we would move forward with this project. The concrete and stonework came in a little bit higher than we anticipated, but the shelter came in lower. So we were able to put together and combine this, and still it's 7% over the engineer's estimate. But in talking with our consultants, Bolton and Mink, a rebid, if we rebid this summer, we probably would come in at same or higher prices. If we waited to the fall, we run the risk of losing our Wellmark project grant because it has to be spent by the end of November. So we still feel that this is a good project to go forward with, and would recommend that we award to Hardscape Solutions for $41,311.33.
Thank you very much, Sherry.
Very good.
Sherry, can you remind us how much is the grant again, the Walmart grant?
The Wellmark grant's $25,000.
So that would take in more than half of the cost.
Yeah.
And is there a bike maintenance stall in there too? Because you said there's bike rack, but I
Yeah,
don't know.
but there's already a one of the multi-tool kits just on the other side of this building,
Oh, great.
where the cross I obviously don't know how to use this computer,
Near the
sorry.
parking lot, kind of.
The cross courses.
Okay. No, it's
Um,
great to know that it's already there.
There you go. In this area, you've got the kiosk, you've got the bike maintenance is right beside it in this area, and then as well as a bike rack is there as also.
Thank you.
Sherry, this looks wonderful, and it's such a fun area. I agree with Hy asking that there might be a restroom.
So, restroom, right now we use porta potty or
Great.
the
Something.
Creekside Ballpark. So the
Yeah.
restrooms actually aren't planned at this location. They're planned on the Charles
I
Gate
know
Farm
that,
site.
but I
so.
don't believe they're close enough. I was just on the bike trail 2 nights ago with my granddaughters, and and we saw 2 guys whizzing, it's like,
Okay.
come on.
Okay, yeah,
And, go
So it's
inside.
something we can talk about and
But-
see if there's an opportunity to run.
Maybe look
sewer and
for another
water out
grant
here.
or something I just think that would be perfect then. Yeah, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Okay, would someone like to make the motion that Sherry
I would make the
stated?
motion that we accept the quotes and approve the contract from Hardscape Solutions of Iowa for the Creekside Flow Trail Observation Plaza.
Okay, moved by Dodd, seconded by Nguyen. Does that need a
Yeah, the roll call for that.
roll call then, please?
Goodrich.
Aye.
Wynn.
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
The motion is approved, all ayes, with Foster and Gross absent. Item 15 is a city administrator report.
Yes, I'd just like to remind everyone that the Fourth Fest Committee has a great festival planned coming up on July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Lots of different activities with the parade and the concert on July 3rd with Josh Turner, the parade on the 4th, the fireworks on the night of the 4th, and a special edition this year, just as a kind of celebration for the community, is the Fourth Fest Feast. And our police and fire will be out grilling for everyone, and the library and the rec center and the children's museum will be providing activities. And so just lots of fun things to do, and it'll all be free except the carnival if you would like to buy tickets to that. So just remind people that there's a lot of fun things going on, and thank the committee that plans all those things. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Kelly. Mayor's report, I don't have much either this evening. Just to reinforce what you just said, there's a tremendous amount of really fun things from the July 2nd through the 4th. And just make sure you try and take them in. It's all on the website. There's a little bit more news as larger cities start receiving their American Rescue Plan funds from the federal government. There was an article, a news article on Channel 9 tonight about Dubuque and so forth. It's correct that the cities under 50,000 have not received ours.
Yeah.
And really, I don't even know if there's a date of.
Yeah, we don't have a final date from the state. Anything under 50,000 comes through the state. 50,000 and above goes directly from the federal government.
Yep. So even some of the rules and so forth for the smaller communities we're still waiting on. So, but we will jump on that when we find out more. The other thing I just wanted to mention too that's been in the news since our last council meeting is that on August 18th, our Coralville Marriott Hotel and Conference Center will become a Hyatt Regency, and that's going to be a fantastic refresh of the hotel. Really exciting plans to do some continued renovation on the inside, in the restaurant area and the sleeping room area. And it'll be managed by a Midwestern company called Marcus Hotels and Resorts, and they're out of Milwaukee. And every instinct I have is that they're going to be a wonderful partner in managing our hotel for us. And I've had a couple people ask me about the Marriott employees, and I'm really excited about that too. They have already offered every single existing Marriott employee the chance to stay on and continue working for them with the Marcus Group. At the same rate of pay, they have an excellent benefits package, and their seniority with Marriott carries over to their company. So like the chef here has been our chef for the last almost 15 years. It'll be 15 in September. But he worked for Marriott. He's worked for Marriott as a corporation for 20 years. He will start with Marcus with 20 years of seniority. if he
Right.
chooses to stay. So the employees are being treated extremely fairly. So that's really exciting news. It's just going to take a while to have it roll off the tongue that it's the Coralville Hyatt Regency. But it will be a great thing. City Attorney's report.
I would just like to thank everyone for the birthday card.
Yes.
Appreciate that. Don't put your pens away. Mom made it to 99. So. Kevin?
I've got nothing.
Okay, thank you. Committee and council members report. Jill, since you're here for the first time in person for a long time, we'll let you go first.
Well, if everybody missed me, it's because I'm now full of titanium and I have a bionic knee. So I'm glad to be back, and I missed everybody, and it's good to be here in person, but I did watch you on TV, so we're all good there. One thing that I wanted to bring up that one of our Parks and Rec Commission members talked to us about last night that I'm hoping the council, the staff, and even the public can help brainstorm is about the farmers market. And if people don't all know already, it's been moved down to the Iowa River Landing. And she had spoken with several of the vendors, and a lot of those, especially with the fresh produce, had talked about how decreased the amount of people were, specifically the low income and the elderly. And we had kind of brainstormed about, walkability, where it used to be easier here by the aquatic center than down there, and how it might be difficult for someone elderly to carry a watermelon to a parking ramp and some things like that. So I just wanted to put that in the back of everybody's minds, if we could think of some ways, if there would be a bus or something we could, take people down, or a golf cart we could have down there to help people get stuff to their cars, or, anything like that we could possibly make that a little easier. We want the people to be able to get that good produce, and we don't want them leaving our farmers market and going to the Iowa City farmers market. So, and that was a big concern of mine. So, other than that, the council has some work to do later on our parade idea. We're getting all pumped up for the 4th,
Good.
so we'll see everybody then. That's all I have.
I assume you're not going to walk the course.
I am not.
Okay. The others are going to take turn pushing you maybe or something.
I'm going to piggyback on Mitch.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Jill.
Thanks.
Hi. Would you like to go next?
Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah.
Piggyback onto what the mayor said about the American Rescue Plan. As I know that we haven't received our funding because of the size of our city, and we don't know when we will be receive the funding. But I just want to put a thought in everybody's mind that think about what we can do with that money. Obviously, with COVID the past year, our city and a lot of other cities are under the water when it comes to funding. And so naturally, we would want to use that money to put towards some of our debt to recuperate. But we can't forget that there are community members who are, not suffering, but who are needing the help but haven't been able to get the help for various reasons. And so we need to keep them in mind. And then also I would like to know if the city have any plan as far as allocating the fund. Please keep us in the process so that we don't have just a few days to look through and approve things. I want to remind everybody that with the 4th of July coming, novelty firework is prohibited in Coralville. It is really stressful for pets and also people when you set off firework left and right. And with the dry condition that we had, although we had some rain, not much, it's probably not going to help our cause. So just please don't do it. Leave the work to the professional. And that's all I have for today. Thank you.
Thank you, and good comments. Lori?
Mayor, I'm really looking forward to the 4th of July celebrations, and in particular, they added July 2nd, which is on Friday, starting off with the free, I couldn't think of the first word, free 4th Fest Feast. So I know that's going to be a fun time out in St. Morrison Park. Most all the activities are in or centered around St. Morrison Park. So look forward to as many people as can come out and enjoy the weekend. It's a great time to stay home and just enjoy our local activities. I attended a League of Cities meeting today, and it's interesting just hearing your conversations. First of all, they talked about the impact cities have on the past legislation this session, and you know, from local control to public safety, and also they talked about the adjustments that cities will be making to the American Rescue Plan. So and they have committed to helping. The Iowa League of Cities will help us also in understanding all that direction that's given to all different sizes of cities, and they plan to be up and ready and running in the next month. So in July, we'll be hearing more about how they can help us with that. So thank you.
Great. Thank you. Well,
I would make a motion to adjourn.
okay, very good. Is there a second to that?
I'll second.
Okay. I assume all are in favor.
Aye.
Okay.